Hi everyone and welcome to the second episode of Fotoclopedia. This video is all about the name, the quality and the money. Photographing with a Leica is like driving a Ferrari on the French Riviera or eating at Krakow in Milan, or like tasting a slice of your favorite cake after a diet, and the list can go on. The field, the quality of materials, the design and the history are all parts that make the Leica experience unique and unforgettable for a photographer. Okay, now if you're the first time on this channel, make sure you also check out the rest of our videos and support us with a like, a share and a subscribe. If you want to follow our photography work, you can check out our Instagram account. I will leave you the link in the description box below. Now let's get to the serious stuff so you can understand exactly what I mean. The Leitz company was founded by Mr. Ernst Leitz in 1869. First they started to produce optical equipments like binoculars and microscopes. In 1914, a man called Oskar Barnack was hired by Leitz to produce their first photo camera. He produced the first prototype with a full metal body and no interchangeable lens. This camera was a pioneer in many aspects, like, first of all, it was the first to have the film positioned horizontally 24x36 instead of 18:24. The advantage of this camera was the lightweight and a small dimension, which allowed you to take it anywhere easily, in comparison with the cameras produced before. The name of Leica, that we all know today, started with this innovation. From this product on, all the cameras produced by Leitz were called Leica. This name is an abbreviation from the first three letters of the name of the founder and the two first letters of the word camera. In 1925, the first official model from Leica comes out on the market. The camera comes with a fixed 50mm lens. Also this year, Mr. Oskar Barnack convinces the production team of the company that it would be an advantage to work with small film negatives and then enlarge them for bigger prints. To be able to actually make this, they needed super high quality lenses. They tried to use one lens from Zeiss, but because the brand hadn't started to produce lenses for 24-36 format, they decided to produce their first lens, which was a 50mm at f3.5. From this point on, they start gaining their respect and name on the market as being a company that produces extremely high quality lenses. We all know that buying a Leica camera actually means that you buy the possibility of using their lenses. In 1930, they add their first prototype with interchangeable lenses, with an impossible name, you guys. I'm sorry, but this is in German and it's very long, so brace yourselves. Leica 1 Schraubgewinde. I'm sorry for the German people that will listen to this, but it's impossible. Also then, they add to their product list other three lenses, one 35mm wide angle, one 135mm telephoto, and one 90mm, which was produced only in few copies, and now it is extremely expensive and valuable. In 1932, they launched Leica 2, the first official camera with interchangeable lenses. With this superstar, Leica becomes very popular. Their sales go up very fast and everybody wants to own that product. In 1933, Leica 3 is produced, and later that year, Leica 250 is produced, and the product could store 10 meters of film roll. The name is not a mistake, guys, and it has an explanation, a very logical one. This camera can shoot 250 frames, this is why it's Leica 250. In the next years, they only had small upgrades to Leica 3, launching Leica 3B in 1938 and Leica 3C in 1940. In the next part, I will talk about some horrifying years. The Second World War starts, and you will find out soon how Leitz was involved. Ernst Leitz II was a member in the Nazi Party at the time, and he found out about the horrible plans before they started to take action. So he did a brave and extremely important to mention maneuver. We can even give him the title of Little Schindler. I said that just because we recently watched the movie and it stuck in my head. He started to employ a lot of Jewish people at Leitz. After a period of being employed at Leitz, the employee gets as a reward for the work a photo camera, and he is hopped on a train that will take him far away from the German borders. Even though a couple of the members in the Nazi Party found out about his life-saving strategy, they couldn't do anything about this because Leitz was the biggest producers of optics for war, such as scopes, binoculars, and photo cameras. By the end of the war, Ernst managed to save hundreds of lives. One of the photo cameras they produced during the war was called Leica Luftwaffe, which means Air Force. It was produced especially for the German pilots in the war. This model is collectible and a lot of people chase it on the market. The last part of the war brings a lack of quality in their products because they were producing a large diversity of objects. In 1951, the company realizes that the SLR technology is starting to become popular, so they invent a technology called Leica Visoflex, which was basically a system attached to a Leica 3 camera that transformed it into an SLR. This approach was not successful, it had a really spicy price, and people did not take it seriously. In 1954, the brand launches Leica M3, the first model of their iconic M series. With the production of this model, they also launched the M mount for the lens. In the 50s, this camera was one step ahead of its competition on the market. This product represented a huge success and everybody wanted to have one. As big as the rise was until the mid-century, as great was their fall off the market due to the fact that the SLR cameras had become a more accessible and easier to use technology, so in consequence the most wanted. Competitors like Nikon, Pentax or Canon suddenly become bigger names and exceed Leica. As a response to the SLR, the company launches Leica Flex in 1964, and with this product they also launched the Air Mount. The camera showed great quality, but the technology used in it was behind the market. In 1968, they produced Leica Flex SL, and in 1973, Leica Flex SL2, which had the same result as Leica Flex. Their investment in the production of the SLRs was bigger than the profit that they made out of them. To avoid bankruptcy, they asked one other company named Minolta, a company well known for their good SLR production, to help them develop a new line of SLRs that will save them from bankruptcy. So in 1976, they launched on the market a camera called Leica Air 3, the first camera in the R series, based on Minolta XE. It is the first Leica with aperture priority mode. Even if they were never well known for the SLRs, with the R series they managed to save the company from failing. Also in the 70s, they patented the autofocus lenses, but they sold the patent to Minolta saying, and I'm quoting now a really funny thing, "Our clients know how to focus." That's what Leica thought about their clients, which is cool. In 1984, the second legendary camera from the M series comes out, named Leica M6. It was the last fully mechanical camera from this series. In 1986, Lights becomes Leica. Until then, it was just a camera brand, but from 1986, the name of the company really changes into Leica. In 1987, they launched Leica R6, the last fully mechanical camera that they produced from the R series. And in 1992, they had an upgrade, launching the Leica R6.2. In 1995, they produced Leica Mini Lux, their answer to the high-end point-and-shoot cameras. In 1996, they make their first digital camera called Leica S1. It was a big innovation because it had 25 megapixel sensor, but the downside was that it was a scan camera and you couldn't catch any moving subjects. In the same year, they launched Leica R8, which they referred to as a hybrid camera. It was a big leap in the R series. In 2002, they create the last film camera from the M series called Leica M7. The camera is known also for being Jamie's camera in the movie Eurotrip. Also in 2002, they launched the camera from the R series called Leica R9, and later on they announced that they will produce Leica R10 as a fully digital camera from the R series, but in the end they will never produce it because they decided it will not bring any profit. In 2006, they decided to turn the M series into digital and they produced Leica M8. The clients were a bit disappointed because the camera had only a crop sensor. In 2008, they created and launched Leica S2, their first professional digital medium format camera. Even if they are slowly switching to digital, they continue to maintain their extremely spicy prices. Only the body of one camera of the S2, for example, was costing $23,000. In 2009, they produced Leica M9, the first full-frame digital from the M series. Also in that year, they launched Leica X1, a high-quality compact camera. In 2013, they started a collaboration with Panasonic. The collaboration brought with it the creation of lenses for Lumix photo cameras, and they also launched the model Leica C, a rebranded Lumix LF1. In 2014, they continued the collaboration with the brand Panasonic, and they launched Leica Velux TYP114, a rebranded Lumix FZ1000. In 2015, they released two new lines in their high-end full-frame mirrorless cameras, Leica SL, and another lower-priced one called Leica Q. In 2016, they started a collaboration with Huawei, producing the cameras for their top lines. The first one was Huawei P9. The collab still lasts today, turning the Huawei phones into the phones with the best cameras on the market. In 2017, they launched on the market Leica M10. In 2018, they announced Leica S3, the next medium-format digital camera. In 2019, they create Leica SL2, the second full-frame professional mirrorless camera, and in 2020, they make public the specification for the next Leica S3, which is announced to be a 64-megapixel medium-format beauty. So, this is it. We reached the end of the story of Leica. Thank you so much for staying with me and listening to this information. We hope it was useful and we hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave in the comment section what do you think about this video, and also give us some ideas for the next episodes of Fotoclopedia. See you next time!